What's going on? So in today's video, I want to talk about a very specific and important body language skill, that is eye contact. So if you're having any issues with eye contact, or have any kind of trouble keeping eye contact, then this video is for you. So for example, have you ever met someone that, wasn't the most attractive, physically attractive person, yet you couldn't take your eyes off of them? And the reason for that is because of what they were communicating, as I often call it, vibe. So when you have the right vibe, your eyes especially communicate that vibe the strongest. Besides your body language and all that, your eyes communicate that. So that's what I've always meant in terms of vibe and how you can actually powerfully communicate this through your eyes. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 4 tips to improve your eye contact, both in terms of what you're communicating, as well as how to maintain eye contact with strangers, with people in your everyday life, and so on. And so in regards to the inner game, this takes me to tip number 1, which is have a positive self-image. How do you do that? I've talked about this, for forever in terms of all my videos. So you want to recreate your story about yourself. You want to really get to know yourself in terms of your insecurities and anything like that, and reframe them into the positive, into something that's empowering for you. Check out some of my other videos so you can see how to do it, especially some of the confidence ones. But reframe that, as well as the relationships you have with the people that you're going to be making eye contact with, whether it's strangers or whether that's people of the opposite sex, or that sort of thing. So again, recreate that story, have a positive image about yourself, and that is going to be communicated through your eye contact, as well as your eye contact will be transformed because of your story. And yeah, that's about it for tip number 1. All right, so tip number 2 is make eye contact kind of a social experiment or a game, to not take it so seriously. So in my experience, what I do is I make eye contact with almost everyone in the streets or wherever I'm going. So whether it's a woman that I might find attractive, or whether it's a random dude, I make eye contact. Why? Simply because I build a connection very, very fast through eye contact, whether I stop and talk to them, or whether I smile or I say hello. In fact, later in this video, I'm going to talk about how to break eye contact the right way, as well as how to create a bond and a connection through eye contact. And that's a super powerful tip I'm going to be sharing at the end. So stay tuned for that. But in regards to this, make a routine simply to make eye contact and begin experimenting with it, how to break it, when to break it, and that sort of thing. Personally, I like to keep eye contact the longest, more than the other person, not in a creepy way, but simply in a comfortable way, that I'm showing that I'm comfortable with that. And usually I get a lot of smiles. I get a lot of people that are, that say hello and that sort of thing, because they feel that connection. And so even if I don't say hello, they say hello because of that eye contact. So you want to experiment with that. But again, tip number 1 was the most important one, which is what's going on in the inside. That's what's going to determine what you're putting out, as well as it'll drive, all those questions that you might be asking yourself. How long should I keep eye contact? How should I do it? Should I do it slow? Should I do it? I don't know. All that kind of stuff gets taken care of when you have the right story going on in your head. All right, so tip number 3 is how long should you keep eye contact and how to break it. So for that, again, eye contact is, I would say I usually keep eye contact longer than the other person. And the reason I do that, which is probably the most important things when you do anything socially or in your life, to be honest, in general, is the reason why. That comes across very clearly to people. That's what puts out the vibe as well. So the reason why I do this is to establish respect, mutual respect, as well as a connection, and also that that I am comfortable with myself, and that I am comfortable with them, that I'm comfortable with seeing them and being seen, basically, because the eyes really are very intimate in terms of what you're communicating. So the more comfortable you are with yourself, and comfortable being seen, the more comfortable you'll be with making eye contact with others. And they will feel the same as well in terms of if you're comfortable, they'll be comfortable as well. The other thing, as far as breaking eye contact, I break eye contact sometimes. Again, I usually keep it longer than they do or something like that, but I break eye contact by just saying hello, waving. I sometimes don't say hello, I just wave, or I smile, or I do say something, hello, how's it going? Or cheers, or whatever it is that you say. So I break eye contact that way. Sometimes I just make eye contact and smile, nod, and that sort of thing if I'm walking down the street. But again, these are habits that you establish. You can be walking down the street, but you can incorporate them into when you're arriving at a venue and you actually get into a conversation. They make it easy or easier to go into a conversation. For example, let's say you're looking, let's say you're a guy that's looking to meet a girl at at a venue or a social event. That eye contact is going to communicate a lot to her, as well as she'll be able to communicate a lot better without you having to go up to her first. Once you make eye contact and she seems to be keen to your energy, then you can go up and say hello and that sort of thing. So that's all I have to say about tip number 3. Let's go on to tip number 4. All right, so here is tip number 4. Tip number 4 is how to create a deeper connection with this simple technique and method of looking at someone's left eye. And the reason for that, if you haven't heard of this before, is because the right hemisphere, the emotional side, is what controls our left side of our body, including our left eye. And so if you want to connect at an emotional level, when you're making eye contact, let's say you're in a conversation, look into the person's left eye. Lock in with your left eye and their left eye. And incredibly enough, I've been doing this for years in terms of this way of looking at people. I don't really think about it anymore, but it really creates a deeper connection. It creates more rapport, whether you're in a business meeting or you're on a date or whatever it is. So I would suggest that. If you know the right eye is more analytical because it's controlled by the left side of your brain. So again, just lock eyes with the your left eye and their left eye, and again, surprisingly, it actually creates more of a comfortable energy around you guys as you are creating that bond, and you begin to feel a different energy in terms of intimacy. And I don't mean just in terms of whether you're on a date, which does apply, by the way, but it could be also in terms of a business context or something like that. They feel more connected and they feel they can trust you more with that. Anyway, those are the 4 tips. If you want me to cover anything on these videos, please put the questions down below and I'll do them on the next week. And if you have any questions about today's video, please put them down below as well. Like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button to get all the notifications. And that's about it. So we'll see you next time. Cheers.